Happy Wednesday. We're getting into that home stretch before the severe weather kicks in. Tomorrow night into Friday, that's coming up here, and we've got at least one more day of clear skies here. Anyway, I wanted to let you all know that some of you are waiting on the mesoanalysis exercise. I do have the video ready to go, and I'm going to upload that after we get done with the webcast this evening. So that's going to be a 40-minute video, and hopefully y'all enjoy that. 500 millibar chart this evening has a big ridge across the Great Plains. And when we get these ridges in the central U.S., that's associated with capping and very warm air aloft. And we've certainly got that in place right now. Further out west, we've got the height falls, the frontal system moving in, and of course the colder upper air temperatures. We can see that in the Southern California area, we've got winds up to 55 knots at 500 millibars. Got the jet stream set up right up there. There's the polar front jet. So we do have some showers and thunderstorms out there, and they are sheared. Here's the water vapor imagery, and we can see some of the subsidence back on the backside of this system. And let me show you this one other chart, actually. This is Megidus here, and I'll show you some of the visible imagery. And this shows us the storm system making its way through the Rockies. Lots of mid and high cloud, and you can see this transverse banding. So there's definitely some turbulence up in this stuff. And then as we get further west, we start picking up some of the convective elements. And there they are right there. And that represents the front itself, working its way across the Colorado River right here. And there's some fairly decent showers and low-top thunderstorms in this. Then as we get further out to the west, we get into some of the cold core convection, and you can see that a lot of these are set up along the mountains. So there's a strong orographic mode going on here. And let me show you GR level 2. And this is showing a couple of showers and weak thunderstorms in the LA area. This one here is just north of Pasadena, and this one is, I think, up in around Big Bear Lake. Yeah. So let's check out what kind of circulation the storm in Pasadena has. This is up over the mountain range, just north of the LA Valley. And if we go up to higher tilts, you can see a little bit of higher intensities aloft. And that was up at about 6,000 feet. And then it rapidly weakens up to 20,000 feet. So these are not very high topped. And then storm relative velocity. This is up at about 6,000 or 7,000 feet. The way I've got it set up right here, it's showing kind of a outflow component towards the radar, but there's this little band here of inflow going into the storm. And I'll set a mark right there. And there it is. You can see kind of a little weak notch right there. That's the cumulonimbus base right there. So if you're looking to the north there, you've probably got a pretty neat view of that tower right there over the mountains there. And a few more cells out in the Mojave area. I'm not too familiar with that area. I guess that's just south of Bakersfield? I don't know. Lancaster, I think that's the name of the town. Anyway, that's the showers going on there in California. And let's check out some of the dynamics in the thermal structure. And you can see the thickness gradient down in here. Lots of banding down there in the southwestern U.S. and a lot of banding up in the northeast. So a very dynamic pattern set up across the U.S. this evening. Here's that polar front out in the eastern U.S. and that kind of tapers off into the Great Plains, maybe in here. Then that links up into that Pacific system, something like this right here. So where is that front? Let's check out the surface chart real quick. Well, the best thing to do is work our way from the warm air to the cold air. So that's going to be in this direction. And we see in Douglas and Tucson, we have 84 degrees, southwest wind. Okay, well, that's pretty warm there. 80 degrees with a northwest wind at Phoenix. And then we go further west and we pick up this westerly wind with 67 at Yuma. And now we're down to 71. This should be warm air here. We should be seeing low 80s. And then we go further west and we pick up the strong west winds. So we've probably hit the front right through there. So that kind of outlines where our cold front is. And so this is going to be moving through Arizona tonight and into New Mexico tomorrow. Let's take a look at some soundings. What's out ahead of the front? Let's look at the Tucson sounding. Tucson is showing a very unstable profile, very steep lapse rates, and lots of warm air. And we're showing pretty good southwesterly flow and 100 knots up there at about 39,000 feet. Up in Las Vegas, kind of a similar picture there, but we have some moisture aloft there, up at about 15,000, mid and high clouds there. Also very dynamic, very strong flow there. Lower troposphere here. So we're bringing in some of this colder air. Not quite as warm as what we had in Tucson. Tucson was set up more like that, and it was deeper. So we've got kind of a colder setup there at Vegas. And this is starting to get back behind the cold front. The layer through here is almost dry adiabatic, so probably a whole lot of air mass modification going on here. Some overturning of the layer as we get this cold air in the mid-levels working through that area. And here you can see a little bit of the cold air in the mid-levels. So there's Vegas right there. And I'll freeze that. And we can see up at 700 millibars, looks like a lot of the cold air has pushed ahead of the surface front. So we're finding the 700 millibar front kind of like that, ahead of the surface system back here. So that's going to give us a lot of overturning and steep lapse rates and dry adiabatic lapse rates there. Okay, let me park this on the dynamics page and I'll go over to chat and see what we got going on here. Okay, come on, stay. There we go. Nope. I guess that chart's going to do what it wants to. Anyway, there we go. So there's some dynamics for April 7th. You can check that out. All right, let me take a look at the chat. Sue M is here, Fun with Tech, Mark and David Holcomb. Welcome. Good to see you here. Ryan Toomies, Ron Chalfant, Ahmed in Saudi Arabia, Alexi, Brian Harp, Fred Reamer, Jeff Day, Greg Kerner, Jeremy Mattingly, Eddie W. David Holcomb says he's down in New Braunfels, Texas. Looking forward to the live sessions. Yeah, we should have a pretty busy session, I think, here on Friday. Ron in Southern California mentioning those thunderstorms there in LA. Jay Edwards is here. Brett Dean, Alan Robinson, Sarah Wood. Sunny day there in northern Indiana. Cthulhu is here. Strong warm air advection in North Dakota, 31 degrees at Grand Forks. Quite a contrast. We had about 82 here. And let's see here. Jason Boggs says 2 targets to choose from tomorrow. Dry line down around Lubbock or cold core storms around Scott City. Yeah, it's always good to have a choice, for sure. That helps split up the crowd so you don't have everybody piling on one storm, especially getting into the weekend. That's when the crowds are out. Ron Chalfant mentioning Santa Clarita, Lancaster areas. That's where that one storm we were looking at was earlier. Michael Burrell says in Atlanta, they tied the highest temperature for the 21st of March, 86 degrees. Last record was 1907. Well, it's been very warm here, as a matter of fact, and let me show you this real quick. These are the temperatures over the past 3 months in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And these 2 bars here, these are the normals. You can see we've been running way above normal. In fact, over the past 60 days, we've had 50 days above normal and 10 days below. So it seems like something's a bit screwy with the climate. We had 92 with a low of 67, and that's about normal for May 20th. So we're running pretty far ahead. It's almost starting to feel like summer here. Okay, about almost ready to look at the dynamics here. And just as a reminder, the mesoanalysis exercises are going to be posted a little later this evening once I get the video uploaded. I had cranked out the video and it turned out to be 1 gigabyte. So I had to mess with that and kind of get it pared down, and I think it's ready to go now. So that'll appear later on this channel. Okay, let's check out these dynamics. There's the current chart for 0Z for about right now. So polar front jet running through Arizona, just like you see right here. And the strongest dynamics in the left front quadrant affecting the Vegas area. And Blythe and Flagstaff, Cedar City. And of course that'll be shifting eastward overnight. And you can see this is dominated mostly by the very strong jet stream, rather than not so much waves moving through the flow, but very strong jet stream here. So we're seeing that classic pattern right there. When it starts breaking up into waves, we start seeing stuff like that. And we don't really have that in the Arizona, New Mexico area right now. So over the next 24 hours, you can see that's going to move into the New Mexico area. This is about noon tomorrow, and you can see very strong dynamics in the I-15 area. And this will give us some strong lift in the mid and upper layers. and very strong cooling, very strong adiabatic cooling aloft. And that'll help destabilize things quite a bit. And we can see the bulk of that strong destabilization makes it out into the high plains right around early evening. So the phase with the afternoon heating is about perfect for thunderstorms. In the Amarillo area, Clayton, Roswell, Hobbs, Tucumcari, those are all going to be under the gun, and possibly up to Lamar and Dodge City and further north. And then after dark, we're going to see that move probably just off the Cap Rock and into central Kansas like that. So things will be modulated pretty heavily by these strong upper air dynamics. And there's not a whole lot of capping, so we should see quite a few storms tomorrow, or on Thursday. Thursday is tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to move out. And then we see a couple waves start to break up, and those will be rolling across East Texas on Friday evening, so another round of severe weather from east of I-35, east of Dallas, down to Tyler, and maybe as far south as Houston. And those will move eastward into Arkansas and Louisiana overnight. And we'll probably see some severe weather Saturday in the southeast U.S. and the Mississippi River Valley into Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee there. So those will all be under the gun. A little bit of a break in Texas and Oklahoma on Saturday. And then the next round will be coming in Sunday, and that'll go a little bit further north. That'll affect maybe Oklahoma and Kansas, and there it is right there. And how much severe weather we have Sunday, that's going to depend on how much the air mass recovers and whether we get some moisture moving back up. And after that, as we've pointed out, another wave heading in, and this next one digs in and moves into Texas on Tuesday and Wednesday. And one thing you can see here is that the flow is southerly. This is a very deep trough, and we've got the upper flow coming directly out of the south. So that means unidirectional wind profiles, maybe more splitting modes, maybe more squall lines, not so much supercells. I mean, we could get a few supercells mixed in that, but that's probably not going to be the predominant mode. And that'll move eastward, and severe weather for Thursday and Friday next week. And here comes this next system affecting Ron there in Southern California. And that'll hit Texas. You can already see the flow picking up here on Saturday the 1st. This will be kind of a weekend event here, around the 1st or 2nd. And that'll move eastward on the 3rd. And look at this, another wave coming into California and Nevada. And this is getting way out there. This is like 360 hours out. So we're talking about April 5th here, but the exact positioning, that's really up in the air. Okay, let's take a look at the forecast. Let's look at the surface panels on the NAM model. Let me back this up here, and we'll check out this system moving across the Rockies. There it is right there. You can see, well, actually the front is back here. We know that the 700 millibar front is a little bit ahead right there. And so that's going to move over the Rockies overnight. Looks like by Friday morning, it's going to be moving into the Albuquerque, El Paso area. And then by afternoon, front is starting to come out of the mountains right there, moving into the plains. Now, it's possible the dry line will be set up out ahead of this. Let's see where the dry line is. I'm going to switch over to the dew point charts. As I move this forward, you can see the moisture coming up northward overnight. And this brings us to tomorrow evening. So dry line, according to the NAM, this is going to be from about Pecos, about Monahans, up to just west of Amarillo, and then up to about Elkhart, Kansas, and then on up to Binkelman, Nebraska. And of course, the cold front will be a little bit further west. So what this means is we're probably going to see some dry line storms out in this area, especially with the approach of the upper dynamics. So things are going to be destabilizing along the dry line. We'll probably see some showers and storms going up along this axis. We'll likely see some watch boxes probably in this area here tomorrow. So a couple good targets up and down the dry line. And then eventually the cold front will catch up with the dry line. It will undercut it, kind of like a big wedge, and then we'll see this firm up into a squall line overnight. And that'll move. I don't know. I think there's a possibility the squall line could outrun what the model is showing. That does happen from time to time, so we may see the squall line move through the Dallas area overnight, and then things would be kind of up in the air for East Texas later on Friday. So a lot of questions for what's going to happen on Friday. However, for the time being, you can see the NAM here breaking out the thunderstorms right around sunset from about just west of Lubbock to about Guyman. And it's not going very far north with that development. So you can see not much showing here. Mostly focusing on the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and the Lubbock area right there for tomorrow night. So looking at all this, if I had to pick a target, I would probably go with Amarillo. And that'll give you a good split between north and south. You can go north if things look better as the day goes on, or head south, one or the other. And then for Friday, things will move east, but I think everything is going to depend on where the outflow boundaries are, where the air mass has been overturned, and where that squall line goes overnight. So that's kind of a big question mark. So anyway, that'll move eastward on Saturday. NAM is looking for a squall line over the southeast U.S. And there will probably be some severe in that. And here comes the next wave. This is coming in for Sunday. And we get to the end of the NAM run. So now we've got to move to the GFS. And let's see what's coming up for Sunday. Okay, Sunday midday, we've got a cyclone across the northwestern Oklahoma area. Most of the moisture looks like it's heading up towards North Texas and Oklahoma here. Looks like some downslope in West Texas here. And then the upper level wave will be approaching the area. So then by evening, yeah, things fire for Oklahoma. So maybe Oklahoma City up to Wichita. And Texas itself, probably under the influence of this downslope. And then I'll move eastward through Monday, and then here comes our next system. There comes a new front coming in from the west. That'll cross the Rockies, and looks like a lot of upslope. So a lot of moist upslope coming up into New Mexico. Precip breaking out, and this looks like more along the lines of isentropic lift, kind of a messy system. But the models are going for a few showers and thunderstorms there around Austin or San Antonio. But I think this will mostly be embedded by the looks of it. And that moves east, and here comes the cold core moving into Texas on the 1st, into the 2nd, and this also looks like kind of a wet embedded type storm system. And here comes more activity for the 6th and 7th. Some more severe weather possibly coming into the southeast around then. So anyway, that's the situation there. Kind of a mouthful, so hopefully I didn't put you all to sleep. Let me take a look at the chat real quick, and I probably can't read all of this, but I'll see what I can pick out here. A little discussion there about weather in Texas, Fort Hood and New Braunfels. Ancient Astronaut has checked in, clear in 77 in Central Texas. And we've got a viewer from Sydney, Australia, Andre Gubas. Welcome to the Meteorology Lab. Hopefully we'll see you around. And I think that's about it. So I appreciate you all watching. Definitely check in tomorrow. We'll probably have some severe weather coverage as things shape up, and I will send out a Twitter announcement once I know what's going on. And I will get that mesoanalysis video up later this evening. So I appreciate you all watching, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.